preparing for heat number 2 of the Gold Cup, and a good crowd settling in to enjoy some fantastic racing on a wonderful venue, Craig. It really is a great place to watch racing from.
It certainly is. My first time, Wade, and what a great weekend. Of course, we had the Hi-Tech Oils big screen all weekend, and wow, what a crowd pleaser that was.
Performance, Immortal and the Boss. We ride on board with the Boss, this farmer from South Australia, and on the inside is Immortal. Mark Gauchi's been very impressive so far this weekend. Of course, watching for Performance, Dean Borg needs to step things up in that very distinctive purple craft as well. So good onboard shots. The boys come down to the line. Heat number 2 of the Melton Gold Cup, part of the Hi-Tech Oils Blown Lights weekend, and Borg, he looks like he's got it sorted now.
He certainly has, and he's charged out the front from the two Hi-Tech Oils Blown Lights, but it's Borg moving into the back straight, getting the power down, and very well. Oh, he leaps out of the water there, Wade.
He's on the gas, isn't he? Borg looking very strong. Immortal will try and run him down. You would think that Gauchi will be better in the corners. It'll be more nimble, this craft, in the turns. As we go on board, just watching Mark Gauchi charging hard. He's a hell of a racer, this guy. Borg at the moment, though, throwing down the challenge in this second heat of the Gold Cup. Here he is, Performance craft. Beautifully turned out boat.
Yeah, he was on and off the cab plates all the way down the front straight there. The boy from Minlayton, near the York Peninsula in South Australia, Tim May and the Boss, used to run in the unlimited class. This year playing boats with the Hi-Tech Oils Blown Light Series.
Look at the airbrushing on this craft at the front just here. Beautiful stuff. Borg putting in the big ones. You just saw Gauchi pinching off the corner at the top of the racetrack, trying to get some sort of advantage back off the turns to close down the real estate. He's not going to catch Borgie. Dean looking very, very strong indeed.
A real character of our sport is Dean Boyd. Oh, he had a moment there, getting the power. These have got unbelievable horsepower, these boats, Wade.
May, back there in third spot, just losing a bit of ground coming off the corners. His momentum coming out of the turns, and in fact, he's got problems. So the Boss slowing, not so this man. Your race leader will become your race winner. Nice job for Dean Borg in Performance, rocketing home with the win in the second heat of the Melton Gold Cup and lining him up for some good points and hopefully a good battle in the final as he slows up. Nice run for Immortal coming home in second. His job is not done yet, although we ran second to Borg in that one. Anything can happen in boat racing, Craig, as we know. Yeah,
certainly in the Melton Gold Cup way, based on time. So we did see both the Immortal and the Boss boats slowing significantly, so that's going to hurt them in as far as qualifying for the Melton Gold Cup.
Good crowd there in the house. You just see them up on the hill. What a great vantage point to watch the action from. The first weekend of 5 in this Hi-Tech Oils Blown Light Series. And the Melton Gold Cup, a standalone one-off event here this weekend in conjunction with the series. Immortal coming back. He'll be hoping for a strong run later in the day. So let's take a look at the results officially now for heat number 2 of the Gold Cup in Performance. Dean Borg, well, he was unstoppable in that one. He needs to carry on that kind of form. The Boss actually ended up in that second spot. Immortal in third, so Gauchi might have had some issues in that.
Just starting to get the feel of it. You know, I haven't driven it since the World Championship, so to get back in it and push it a bit, well, you've got to get the feel of everything again. So I think we're right now. Died over the finish line though, so I think we need more fuel in it. First time it's ran good for the weekend. So we'll see what happens in the final as far as I'm concerned.
We've just stuck down into the pits and it's getting pretty tense down here because these boys need to get out and race. But I've caught up with the crew chief of Bad Intent, and it's Mick McKay down here. Mick, just want to have a quick chat to you, mate. Being crew chief for this particular boat, a cell boat obviously, how much confidence does it give you that your driver's safe in this particular boat?
Oh, a lot more confidence in the old days in the open cockpits. We find now with the cell, he's strapped in, he's got another layer of protection which helps enormously if there's an incident. We all hope there's no incident. Also gives me the opportunity to communicate a little bit easier because he's protected, he's a lot quieter in there for him. And I can give him some conditions and what's happening and so forth. So yeah, well, I'm very, very happy now he's in a cell. It's been a long time coming as far as I'm concerned, and we've been an advocate for a long time, so I'm happy he's in it. He's my brother and I've got to look after him, and I'm hope he's safe.
Yeah, Mum will be dirty on you if you let anything happen to him. So
that's for sure. She's up there looking down on us, mate, and I'm sure she's making sure he's safe as well, buddy.
Third and final heat race now for the Melton Gold Cup as we check out the view from the stands, and Melton City Council, City of Melton, right behind this event and enjoying some of the corporate hospitality here today. Oxygen Thief, Chris Pugsley, Decision, Brent Lewis and Darren Robertson very strong in that very first run we had in Wild Child. He'll be looking to back that result up as we come down to the line. Wild Child, extreme outside, Darren Robertson, and alongside him you see Pugsley and Lewis. Lewis has been wild to say the least, and we know that Pugsley's always on the gas. Here they come, Craig, getting set for a start in the third and final heat of the Gold Cup.
Great start by the blown light boat there of Brent Lewis, the boy from Lockyer Valley in Queensland. Of course, Brent telling us plenty of rain and water up the Lockyer Valley. So he, look, along the inside. Who's that that's come along the inside of
Pugsley?
Pugsley. Oh, the 6th leader against the two blown boats there. Great corner by Pugsley. He's pushed Lewis out very, very wide.
Wow, and the guy that got caught out of all of that is the Wild Child, Robertson. So he's got a lot of work to do to come back. As we take a look at Pugsley, charging hard. And there is Lewis in Decision right alongside the Wild Child. So Pugsley doing a good job. He's a gasser, that's for sure. Nothing in this battle for second. These three lappers are over very quickly, Craig, and if you make a mistake, it can cost you dearly.
Certainly can. A little mistake in the corners they can certainly do without. But I tell you what, 6-litre injected, we keep talking about him batting well above his weight. 6-litre injected against the two blown boats in second and third.
Last lap right now in your high-tech oils Blown Lights weekend. There is Robertson. He'll be filthy. Not the best start, of course, as you said. It's based on times. So you're qualifying for the Gold Cup final. Blownlights.com.au, the website, to check out all the info, get some great shots, and certainly series dates for the future 4 rounds in 2013. They're not going to stop Pugsley. Superb job out in front. Very aggressive with that first lap, and it's paid off in dividends for him, Craigo.
Yes, he's... this guy's got an enormous heart. He just keeps his foot in the bucket the whole time, and beautiful looking boat, of course, from the Dargle Valley Club in Sydney.
A real family sport this as well. The Pugsley family well and truly immersed in Pugs' racing. He stomps home in the third and final heat as we get closer and closer to the Gold Cup final over 4 laps here at Melton, Victoria, for the Melton Gold Cup. So Pugsley, your winner, from Robertson in second. Lewis rounding out the top 3 at Melton.
Particularly well. Like to get a win against, they've got a fair bit more power than what we had, but you need a bit of luck on your side, and we were lucky enough to get an inside pole, and really that made the difference. If I drew outside, it would have been a lot more difficult, and I may not have been able to do it. In fact, I probably wouldn't have been.
Getting set now for the Melton Gold Cup here on this high-tech oils weekend. The City of Melton folks enjoying the view, and what a glorious day to be out watching boat racing in the sunshine in Victoria near Melton as Dave Clark prepares to belt into that immaculate Tough Enough craft. His son races a boat called Little Tough Enough, which is a much scaled down version. Now this is a parade lap in front of the crowd here to get a couple of good shots and acknowledge the support of the fans. How disappointing for Matthew Stone in the high-tech oils boat, Craig. He's not going to make this one.
Yeah, he qualified third. You wouldn't believe it, Wade. Qualified third, but has withdrawn due to ignition problems.
Man, that is absolutely gutting because Stone has been a live wire. It's been a pretty up and down kind of weekend for Matty.
Yeah, but look at Matt's been out of the sport for a couple of years, hence that's why he's been on the outside. But he's done a great job. This first competition race weekend for the Sucker Punch high-tech oils boat, and look, he was disappointed he couldn't make the final, but really happy with the amount of time he spent on the water.
So I wonder whether Quinn has the goods here or not. Certainly the unlimited boats have been very, very tough to rein in. Here is your poll, your grid for the Melton Gold Cup. Influence, Thief, Performance, Wild Child and Decision. And Borg, after his last drive in Performance, very strong. Pugsley, you cannot rule him out. And Oxygen Thief as well. This is anybody's race. Here they come, formed up and good to go for the Gold Cup. 4 laps ahead of us on board with Daryl Quinn. He's been stout to say the least, has swept the Blown Lights class earlier this weekend. Can he back that up? It's a different really situation now up against the unlimited boats as well. Great shots of Pugsley. Here we go, Craig Lynn getting set for a start in the Gold Cup.
Oh, influence, a bad influence on the inside. Borg and the big Tough Enough machine right on the outside. Gunnel to gunnel, side by side, coming into the back straight. It's Quinn, courtesy of the inside, takes a slender lead.
Just saw just then Somebody half spun, one of the blue craft. It might have been Pugsley. Out in front though, storming run from Bad Influence. We expected the big unlimited crafts of Tough Enough and Proformance to be strong into the first corner, and they were. But Quinn is so good at keeping the momentum up. Borg back in that second spot. Oh, big wriggle up for Borgie then. That was a worry. Robertson now in Wild Child trying to close in. Are they going to be able to stop this guy? Quinn in good touch.
Oh, look, once he's out in front, he's very hard to drag back. He's shown all weekend, Wade, not only first out, first home.
You can see the cav plates working very hard on the back of these crafters, basically how they can settle the boat, change their setup, and if you got the cav plate settings wrong, you're going to have a nightmare ride.
Yeah, like a Woolworths shopping trolley, believe you me.
A little bit more horsepower and a little bit more frightening when you're skimming over the water at over 200 k's an hour, but I appreciate where you're heading with that. Robertson now up to second, into the last lap right now. Borg nice and tight. Oh, did he just tag the boy?
He certainly did.
That's going to be a costly mistake for him. That usually carries some sort of penalty.
Yeah, 1 lap penalty there, Wade.
Borg, he's just gone from a podium to zilch right there. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, it's been a tough weekend for this bloke. He's been too good for the field almost every time he's been out there. Daryl Quinn in Bad Influence on his way to victory lane in the Melton Gold Cup. Geez, been good.
Yeah, he has been good, and he's out of the 4 races for the series, the Blown Light High-Tech Series, 3 out of 4, he's won the heat and the final of the prestigious Melton Gold Cup.
Borg will be filthy with himself for tagging that boy. Well done to the wild child, Darren Robertson. So there you go, that's the results, but I think you'll find Proformance will go back a lap for tagging that boy. Well done to Quinn. They couldn't stop him here today at Melton. He's going to be tough all series.
Yeah, we went in a bit hot, blew it out a couple of corners, so at least we're on the podium again. Motor's in one piece. We're losing oil pressure. Every race we went out, we got less and less oil pressure. We actually disconnected the oil pressure light that race because I kept getting worried, so we didn't have a light in front of me on. But still in one piece, no rods hanging out, so we're happy.
Yeah, I missed the start probably by a split second, but it's a long way at the end of the chute. And I just basically had to grind the way through the race. So I come out, I think, in 3rd or 4th after the first turn, and by the second corner I was 3rd, and then by a lap later I was running 2nd. So just ran out of laps basically to keep on running this guy down. He just got too much of a start on me to run him down on this track. This track's just way too short for a big blown boat. It's ideal for these guys. Another 100 metres and on the track, and it'd be a different story altogether. We'd have a chance of running him down, but this little short track, the blown lights, they just get way out in front, and if they're out in front, you're gone basically. So the start on this race is crucial. I've done it probably 6 or 7 times now. If you don't get a great start, you don't end up in the top, 1, 2 or 3. So I did okay, but like I said, I missed the start a little bit. Pole 4, it's a tough gig to get up to number 1. It's great actually. I don't have to go home and do any repairs. Just give it a wipe over and a bit of a run over the valves and check the fuel and a few bits and pieces that you normally do over a weekend. But I don't have to go home and rebuild the motor, which is a big bonus for us because we've had a few blow-ups lately.
It's always nice to be recognised on a little trophy somewhere along the lines that people can look back on years gone by and who won that. And look, I've certainly looked at the trophy and, you look at some of those names on there and you think, geez, you're up there with them and, it would have been great to be racing against some of those people today. But look, it doesn't matter who's out there. They're all competitors. They're all strong. And obviously in the shoot run there, I could see Wild Child and Tough Enough on the outside, and I was certainly screaming down the outside. I thought, look, just keep a cool head and just get it around and let it all pan out from there. It's pretty hard to come from the outside, but that's the way it goes. So you've got to qualify, and where you qualify is where you start the race. Look, approaching the first pin, they pegged me back. They were actually probably half a boat in front of me at the first pin, but we just went a little bit deeper just to drive it harder in the corner. But as I said, it's a long way to come from out of pole 4, pole 5. You've really got to get a good turn, and you've got to have 10 miles an hour to peg it back, so pretty hard here.
So on behalf of Craig Lynn and myself, it's Wade Orn just saying, hope you've enjoyed the action from the Hi-Tech Oils Blown Light Series, and we look forward to joining you for the remaining rounds throughout the course of the year. Until next time, we'll catch you down the road.
time now to head across the ditch and to Manfield in New Zealand. It's race 2 from round 3 of the Ryco 24/7 NZ V8 Ute Series.
We'll do another warm-up lap as they try and relax behind the wheel. Were you good at this stage?
Yeah, I actually used to really enjoy the starts, and to be honest, it was one thing that I got, pretty right most of the time.
Breathe, relax. I like the way that Andre Heimgartner says, "I'm just having fun."
Yeah,
which is great. And you've got to still do that, haven't you?
Because when you come to a race meeting, it's the first race, the first start is where the nerves are. Once you sort of go through that, you're.
This is where the nerves are on the front of the grid. Liam Porter, Brett Main, then it's Stu Monteith, Simon Usher, Jeff Spencer, Peter Ward, Paul Manuel. He knows all about this. The two championship contenders side by side. Glenn Collinson. And then it's Jake Stoneman, Andrew Porter. Great to see him picking up a win for number 3 yesterday, the 3rd winner in the series so far. Dave Lowe, the 24/7 Ryco man. Paul Frigier, Rod Neese, and Greg Cruyff. Some of the newbies coming in to make up the Ryco 24/7 V8 Ute Championships round 3 this weekend. Paul Manuel started with the lead of 195 points, 22 over Glenn Collinson, back in second. That's been slowly changed. He slowly put the squeeze back on after Collinson finished 3rd yesterday.
This is a classic shot here. This is a really crucial part of a V8 Ute. It's getting that warmth into the tyres and also through the discs. So they'll be pumping on and off the brakes and trying to get those brakes really, really hot. So when they start, they pull up in that first turn.
And we've seen so many times what happens in the first lap when you haven't got enough heat into those tyres, and you can have cold tyres, make the big bold move and a cold tyre, and all of a sudden carnage.
Well, as they say, you never win a race in turn 1 on the first lap, but you can lose it for sure.
But you do want to try and get in there in front of the other guy and out of there in front of the, which is the great challenge for drivers, isn't it?
It's called sticking the nose in.
Well, you talked about it's a controlled class, Yokohama tyres and all the stuff there. The thing you can't control is the uncontrollable.
Yeah, true.
The drivers.
True, exactly. It's actually over the years this class has really toned down well. Back in the start, there was a lot of argy-bargy and a lot of damage, and the officials used to come and have a chat and say, "Come on, guys, let's keep it clean and tidy." And it has toned down a lot, and it's good to see good, clean V8 racing at its best.
Right, 12 laps, getting reassembled on the grid here at Manfield in the sunshine. It's heating up. Great to see the corporates and all the fans enjoying the hospitality here for the Castrol Toyota Racing Series. Toyota's all about start your impossible. It's all about believe. They do a fantastic job, and it's great to have more sponsors like Ryco 24/7, anytime, anywhere with your hydraulic repairs. Coming back into the racing scene and helping out the team here with the Utes in New Zealand.
30-second boards up.
Waiting for the red lights to go on. 1, 2, nerves are up. Waiting for those revs to go up. Green light and racing. Porter gets off to a slow start. The main man, 84 on the Ryco 27U, gets a flyer. Usher down the outside. Monty, he's got a 3 wide. Charging down to turn 1. Clean start, they lock it up. No contact. Did we speak too early? A little bit of a contact there with Porter, and then onto the grass goes Collinson, side by side. They're 3 wide going into turn 2. Talk about keen, talk about eager, charging down into Splash. Look at Spencer. Side by side, Porter, Collinson. The championship contenders from yesterday just knocking each other loose. Super Freight man Manuel just muscles his way back up behind, and somehow they've all managed to get into trouble and stay out of trouble, or have they?
Well, yeah, that was a classic example, I think, where Glenn just came in and leant on Andrew, which turned Andrew around, and of course the effect afterwards is several cars get tapped out, but the one that won out of all of that was Paul Manuel.
Yes, he managed to just sort of bust away and get out of the way. So it's Main, Brett Main is cleared off. Simon Usher's got off to a good start. And I tell you what, Spencer's under pressure now from Jake Stoneman. And charging up behind him, is that Wardy?
Yeah, Jeff Spence got some damage there on the front of his bumper. Bonnet sticking up. He won't be happy about that, actually. He's only just taken it out of the panel shop to bring it out this weekend.
Oh, come on, guys. I've just brought it out to make up the numbers and have a bit of fun. Yeah. And you're smashing me. Yeah. You're crashing me. Turn it up. Down towards turn 1.
Here comes Jake inside.
He's going to have
he's on the grass.
Oh, look at them. 1, 2, 3 wide. He's getting squeezed by the Tyreworks car of Jake Stoneman. and then the core steel car of Spencer, and then there's Wardy.
3 wide, something's got to give here.
Oh, keep it on, LaRouge, Paul Fragier. Well done. He's got the load right. Actually, one of them's just pulled up. Paul Fragier, good save, one of the newbies. Coming down around the hairpin. So it's all round. Everywhere you look, they're all loose. Spencer having one of those days here at mighty Manfield. Now they're all going to gang up on Brent Main. Great to see him back out there having a crack. So Fragier, number
just
57.
took the corner too high, straight ahead. Lucky he got through that, actually.
The engineer out of Ponsonby that does a lot of work with the waste rubbish. And not to see the Trade Depot 90 car of Stu Monteith. I think they got caught up in that big battle at the start of the race and into pit lane. So Brett Main, 84. Jake Stoneman down the inside having a look in the number 1 car. Normally driven by Matt Sprout out of Tapuki. He did a great job yesterday, didn't he? Absolutely loved it.
Look, this would be fantastic. If Jake could take the win here, this would be something pretty special. And I've got to say, I spoke to Jake at the end of the day, and he says to me, my biggest fans are sitting at home, my kids, and I never said hello to them on camera. So kids, I'm saying hi for you from Dad.
Wardy locks it up. Takes second spot from Brett Main as well. He did a bit of racing in the Formula First many years ago, so he's done a bit of racing, but Wardy doing double duty, also in the muscle cars, and I know that Andrew Porter's just come into the pits too after his contact in that melee in the first lap.
Yeah, let's have a look at Paul Manuel's front there. Look, there's something peeled back, the left-hand guard, so I just wonder where that damage has happened.
I think in that first couple of corners, mate, in that first lap, they're all tapping and smashing and trying to get some racing room. So there's the damage to Andrew Porter, so Moose won't be happy. Andrew will be disappointed too, because great win yesterday, but it's all turned to custard today.
Yeah, as they say, Clint, that's motorsport, mate. That's how quickly it can change.
So here's your series leader, the Super Freight Holden of Paul Manuel going wide. Look at the damage on his car, trying to chase down Brett Ward, 69. Stoneman's cleared off of the FG Falcon out in front. I think he needs a new headlight, that's for sure. Just on the ground at the back of the corner. So he's coming through. Spencer's settled down. Right, they're all settled down now. 9 laps to go. Out of the 12. The first 3 was like a dog fight. Wasn't it a street fight down there, but you expect that on the Utes. Very entertaining. So it's Stoneman, Ward, Manuel, Spencer, Usher, Main, Collinson, Porter, Lowe getting up there. Roger Neese all the way from the South Island, the 811 Luke. Utes doing a good job too, the Speedway man from down in Canterbury. How long will these tyres stay?
Glenn Collinson setting up here for a pass.
Yeah.
Ooh, he's got a bit of damage on the front of that as well.
Yeah, he's been in the contact too with Brett Main. As I said, he's had a bit of Formula First racing experience many years ago, and Hondas as well.
Yep.
Formula Ford as well.
Nice pass.
So a good battle for second here as Paul Manuel trying to find a way around Peter Ward. So it's the 69 Holden of Wardy and the 15 Holden of Paul Manuel.
Mark my words, Wardy will be making this as wide as he possibly can, because Jake's his engineer and he's going to want to see Jake take that win.
But Paul Manuel, the man doing a great job coming off the TA2, the Trans Am win in Malaysia with Jalen Robobotham. And down the inside, uses an experience, he catches Ward napping, and he stays on the track. So there they are, 2x2, great move, good pass. That's experience for you, that's racecraft.
Absolutely, that's experience. He set that up completely, shot on the inside of Wardy, and Wardy had nowhere to go but let him through.
And now he's going to hold it all the way from turn 7 to turn 1 to maintain that advantage. Wardy can live there, but a little bit sideways. Down into 2, then they'll duck down into splash.
It's Peter at his best, he loves doing that.
Spencer's recovered and he's settled down in 4th, which is good to see the local man in the 22 car. Nice speed shots from the team on Sky Sport. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. It's fantastic racing, the breeding ground for a bit of fun in the Utes. Gentlemen, businessmen, in the weekend, put down the mobile phone, put on the helmet, and let's be rocket men.
Yep, it's the boys Boys having a bit of fun with V8 Utes.
The boys are back in town, back in Fielding Town.
Yeah.
Voted one of the most beautiful, friendly towns in New Zealand many years ago, and still is very friendly. Here is Jake Stoneman. What a great job. I mean, for a guy who knows how to build these cars, he's loving having a chance to go and race them.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you know, he's done this for years. He's won the Australian Championship. He's won the New Zealand Championship many times. He certainly knows how to set up one of these Falcons.
The likes of Chris Pither, who's doing the DSO this year, of course, with the Castrol Toyota Racing Series. He cut his teeth and won the championships here in New Zealand.
And Australia, yep. And of course ended up in supercars, which was a great step, you know. And let's hope, you know, we're really backing Chris to see that he ends up in Team Sydney. And hopefully this week we may get an announcement around that.
Yes. So not just the V8s as a breeding ground and a pathway to a stepping stone across the ditch to Australia, but also the V8 Utes has been a great category over the last, 10 years?
Yeah, well, you know, you think about some of the New Zealand drivers that have gone over to Australia and had a crack in the V8 series when it was running over there. And of course, you know, a few years back we used to have that Trans-Tasman rivalry. In fact, I made the New Zealand team one time, and we beat the Australians over here. It was, you know, it's a great rivalry between the two countries.
Of course, that traditional battle between Ford and Holden. Series leader 15, Super Freight man Paul Manuel. He will increase the lead after yesterday. Collinson in the 17 car finished in third, and he was further back down the field in fourth. But today it's another switch around with that reverse grid race, which always shows up the opportunity for a like of a Stoneman to come through, or a Peter Ward. But now it's Paul Manuel showing his experience and just being very consistent as he increases that lead. Here's Jeff Spencer, and looking pretty good, the 22 Core Steel car. And he's a great character, isn't he?
He's a great character.
One of the originators, one of the originals.
You know, the whole family supports him. Kelsey, you know, she loves him racing. His dad's here working on the car with him. You know, they're an awesome family, and I've loved being a part of their family over the years.
Bit of bonnet damage there, which is nothing surprising after a weekend of racing at Manfield. I think he had a bucket list. He had an opportunity to do this or that. And he said, well, let's go and do the Utes. I've got my opportunity. I'm going to grab it now.
Yeah, he's run an 86. He's run a BMW here at Manfield, but you know, he just loves his V8, Clint. Let's be real.
So here's young Liam Porter, who's the son of Andrew, just learning the craft and doing a good job, staying out of trouble.
Currently sitting in 8th place.
84, Brett Main, of course. He's done a bit of racing before, but coming back into the Ryco 24/7 Utes. In fact, a lot of the business partners with the connection to Ryco are doing it, like Dave Lowe. So great to get that cross sort of sponsorship and partnership happening, isn't it? Great for young Liam to have dad racing at the same time. How cool is that? Father and son, same day.
You know, the way motorsport works, but I mean, you know, Liam's going to beat his father today. I'm sure he's going to remind him. He's going to say, Dad, I got this one.
Yes, you will, because Dad's in the pits.
Exactly.
And I think the temperature's probably going up in the pits. And I'm not talking about the car.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Monty, he's back out there. Collinson gets round him. So Stu does the right thing. He stays away from all the trouble. So 5 laps to go. This is where you want to just settle down and get into your own rhythm now. You've had all the car control, you had all the chaos and the pushing and the shoving. Now let's just take a deep breath and do some racing.
Yeah, well, as it spreads out a little bit, it's about starting to put down those constant lap times and just doing the same thing, watching your braking points, watching your apex and your corners and setting them up correctly, and just trying to learn each lap and be more and more consistent as you're going around.
84, Brett Main doing a good job there out of Hamilton. Loving his racing, joining the team this year. Ryco 24/7, great to have them on board for the season, and getting right behind the V8 Utes. Further back down the field, you've got Monty, you've got all the new guys. And when you came in as a rookie, what was it like?
Having karted for many years, and when I got the opportunity to test the V8 Ute, I went down to Taupo and I jumped in one of Paul Isaac's vehicles. In fact, Hemiwira Morrison had raced it prior to me, and I jumped in it and did a few laps, and we had a look at my top.
Collinson goes really wide, entertaining for the fans along the grandstand there. Did Tim cook you some eggs?
Yeah, Tim did cook me some eggs. So I ended up sort of 5th fastest. So I thought, right, you know, this is it. I'm gonna go do this, and I, you know, did 10 years of it and absolutely loved it.
And when you first did your first race and stuff, how were you feeling though?
Oh mate, I felt sick. I think I had diarrhea before I even got in the car, to be fair.
Yeah,
and I can tell you why. It wasn't food, mate, it was nerves.
Yeah, and different drivers will react different ways, isn't it? Because you know your day, you wake up, you've got a big sports event, you have the nervous straight away. Your nerves, you know that the adrenaline's on, isn't it?
The first time, it was the A1GP meeting, mate, and the first time I got in the car.
Oh, what a hell of a meeting that would have been.
Well, I didn't just have one nervous, I can assure you of that. I had a few of them. But like I said, that first race, when you get that first start away, that's it. You're set for the rest of the meeting.
So once you get into this phase of the race, you've had all the biff and bash, you've had all the sort of the nerves, the excitement, then you get a chance to settle down. What was that like? That must have been sort of the relief.
Well, it's like one of the things that's really important is your engineer, right? So your engineer will talk to you and he'll tell you just to calm down. And when you come down the straights, he'll say, take a breath, take a drink if you've got water on board. And they just, encourage you to just keep focused. And you actually, when you're really on focus, you do get a sort of tunnel vision. It's hard to explain that, but it's really, really important to get that focus.
Yeah, totally focused. Just calm down and always just think of the great Peter Brock, smooth and fast. Those smooth lines. The fast car is the one that sometimes is not sideways, it's not spectacular, follows the ultimate and the optimal racing lines like Jake Stoneman's doing here, and you get into your rhythm and there you just relax and just go racing. Doing a good job. And the tyres in this category, the Yokohama, so they've been backing them.
Yeah, well, see, because this is an intermediate tyre, the tyre starts to wear, and of course the pressures come up, and you'll see the car starting to move a lot more than it does at the start of the race. And the other thing with the tyres being controlled, you're only allowed 6 tyres per round, that's it. So you've got to take 2 from the previous and 4 new ones. So you choose how you manage that tyre wear in what races.
That's exactly what Jake Stoneman was saying, the man you're watching on screen at the moment. The leader of the race with a nice 4.1 second cushion. He'll be happy because with just a couple of laps to go, those tyres will start getting a little bit wobbly, but he's got a big lead so he can just bring it home. A bit like the series leader here, Paul Manuel. He's had a few moments here at this particular track, but this weekend wasn't a good start to the racing yesterday, but he'll be really happy about
it's only just
being in
holding
second
together.
spot at the moment. Yeah, he's just hanging in there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not on the tyres because he doesn't want anything else rubbing on the tyres.
Right.
But he's very consistent, isn't he, Paul?
He's
Good champion bloke and a champion driver.
Done a lot of racing over the years.
Only about 29? I think that would classify as experience.
Just a tad.
But he knows when to really put the hammer down, and he'd be very determined to win the championship. The 4 rounds of the Ryco 24/7 V8 Utes. He started with the championship lead. He wants to leave here with the championship lead and take it down to the final decider. But the other guys, Collinson, Porter, they'll have something to say. There's the team. Good camaraderie, Mike.
There's the boys.
So Stoneman, he's going to get the last lap board, and what a way to get the #1 Ute. He'll go back to Matt and say, I've looked after you, mate. I've given him the best possible shape. Here we go. Last lap. Big lead. See what that lead is. He's opened it up to 3.9 seconds. He's doing 121.8. Manuel doing 121.8. So they've just settled down to a nice top 3. And Wardy, he'll deserve a good place in the podium too, settling down at 122.
Right, I'll leave you to it for the last lap. I'm off to have a chat to Paul Manuel.
Go down and get some reaction. Jake Stoneman will be absolutely buzzing. And here he is. Of course, Kirk, his dad, races in the Sanyong Utes, and now the son. Westie boys build the Utes. Racing in the Ryco 24/7 V8 Utes. He knows all about the Ford FG and doing a superb job showing these guys how to do it, not only off the track but now on the track. And absolutely loving the racing this weekend, which has been fantastic for the Utes, making the most of that reverse grid race. And then of course the last race will be basically the fastest and the points from the weekend, and he'll be right up there. And what a way to do it, jump in the Ute and actually take out the weekend. Can he do it? That's to be decided in the third and final showdown later on this afternoon. But right now, it's all about Jake Stoneman jumping Jake Flash. Jake Flash, he flashes past and takes that checkered flag. Paul Manuel grabs in second spot, increases the lead in the series. Wardy comes home for a place in the top three. Well done to Jeff Spencer in the core steel car, and also Simon Usher doing a great job on the 94 Black Ute. Collinson creeping home in 6 after all of the tangle and the mangle at the start of the race. Rest of the field, Liam Porter started on pole. He'll be happy with a top 7 and a clean Ute. Avoided a lot of the clash and the carnage. Brett May coming home in 8. And the rest of the field following in the footsteps of Jake Stoneman. So confirming that result from the second race of the weekend, the reverse grid, and it's Jake Stoneman muscled his way up to get the number 1 spot in the number 1 Ute. Paul Manuel, 15, grabs second spot to increase the lead in the series. Peter Ward, great driving this weekend, coming home in the top 3. Then Spencer, all the way from Mighty Manawatu, came out here, and the core steel buildings car did a great job sticking out of the top 4. Usher, Collinson, Porter, Main, Lowe, and Roger Nees wrapping up the top 10. The rest of the drivers all had their moments. The big loser though, number 3 Andrew Porter, won the first race of the weekend, ended up in the pits in the second race. Here's the grid. Jake Stoneman, Paul Manuel. It's all about the points table from rounds 1 and 2. Peter Ward, Glenn Collinson, Jeff Spencer, Simon Usher, Andrew Porter, Brett Main, then Liam Porter, David Lowe, Roger Nees, Paul Fagier, Greg Cruyff, and in the number 90 car, that's not Stu Monteith, that's going to be Kirk Stoneman. So Jake at the front, Kirk at the back, father and son combo to finish the racing as we get set to wrap up. 3 great rounds and 3 great races this weekend in the Ryco 24/7 V8 Utes. We'll also update the points battle for you as well, and some of the stories been building up behind the scenes here in the fun, in the sun. 10 laps, the final showdown before the New Zealand Grand Prix, and we'll leave it to the tradies. Good start by Jake, even better start by Paul Manuel. The man who's been racing for points to maintain his lead in the series as they charge down towards turn 1. Bit of contact in the previous race. Some of the Utes got beat up. Collins makes a really good start, gets right behind the FG Falcon, and all those FGs gagging up on the holdings, and also around the outside for Gier. So Manuel, big sideways movement. Jeff Spence and Andrew Porter. Man, Porter was just saying in the preview they keep going.
The pirouette and they're off.
Come in, spinner. Well, Moose was saying that in the last race they got a bit too close. Oh no, the core steel buildings 22 of Jeff Spencer looks a bit wobbly, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, that's definitely broken something in the rear, probably one of the shocks.
3 into turn 2, doesn't go, and Jeff just gets in behind. A little sideways tap of Andrew Porter, who won the first race, and it's just been a dog's breakfast ever since.
Yeah, look, Andrew was just the innocent party there. I think Jeff actually didn't give him any room at all, just caught the rear of the car. Andrew actually won't be happy with that. I think he'd be a bit frustrated with Jeff over that one.
Oh, well, they said the other cars just got a bit too close, and now Jeffy's just brought this out for the weekend. All the family were there, and now they have to bring the core steels building back into pit lane, I think. 82, David Lowe, one of the Ryco racers in the field. Here they go down towards the main part of the track, turn 1, Statement 1. 15 Super Freight car of Paul Manuel just going a bit wide.
That was a fantastic pass though. That's just pure experience on Paul there to pass Glenn Collinson like that.
Just smooth. Well, he said after he got off to a really good qualifying with himself and Andrew Porter, and then good result in race 1. He just got beat up by all the Fords. And Andrew Porter just coming into the pits. Unfortunate for him. So, bit of drama there, and old Glenn Collinson, he's currently second in the points. But the man who can win the weekend is going to be Jake Stoneman. 66 points, there's the damage. Moose and the guys having a look with Andrew Porter's car. And after a great win, third winner of the series, bang, he's been monstered, and now Jake Stoneman became the fourth winner of the series. Here he is out in front, leading the field, really enjoying his racing. And then the other injured Ute's going to come back in along pit lane 2 with Jeff Spencer, number 22 in that Core Steel Buildings car. So bad luck for Jeff. He has sent out the SOS.
Doesn't it?
Well, I wonder if...
yeah, I'm not quite sure what that was about.
He's a bit angry. Now Moose is... it's a bit...
yeah, we don't like to see that in motorsport. I'm not sure whether that was just a bit of an incident.
Unless he's got brake issues. No problems with the man in the tyre works. Ford Falcon, the big FG of Jake Stoneman. Really enjoying getting back in racing. But Paul Manuel, he was laughing. He said they had beat up in race 1. They've had brake issues. They've had arm issues. They've had nothing but issues since a good qualifying series. But he said, I was just driving for points in that second race. Limit the damage. Keep the points lead. And that's exactly what he's done. 250 overall to 230 to Glenn Collinson and 17 back.
Yeah, well, that's smart racing, isn't it? It's about finishing every race. I mean, it's the finishing every race and collecting your points is what wins a championship.
He's certainly doing that at the moment, doing a great job, Jake Stoneman, but also Paul Manuel, and then the man who's currently second in the series right behind him, number 17, Glenn Collinson. He's had a few issues over the weekend. Simon Usher in the United Movers one, going past 84, Brett Main. He stayed out of trouble in the reverse grid and really enjoyed his racing.
Isn't it great to see Jake Stoneman, doing it like this? You're the guy who engineers the car, jumps in, fills in the seat, jumps in and just goes out there and wins.
And then you've got number 90 down the back of the field, just going a bit wide of the old man Kirk Stoneman. So 23, Greg Cruyff, one of the newbies in the field, really enjoying the chance to go racing, getting into the V8 Utes. Oh, just Paul, he's done that in the previous race and he's done it again, but it's a Utes who go through the kitty litter onto the grass and power it, the rubbish collector, power it back onto the track. So well done, Paul. He's got the load right there, slightly wrong with the braking, but hey.
Yeah, well, when you come into turn 1, let's have a look at the replay here. Coming into turn 1, you can see he's locked up the right front tyre, and of course, once it's locked, it's gone. He was lucky he actually got off the brakes to keep that going through there. Could have ended up being buried.
Yeah, he's done the right thing there. Just put your foot down, son, and keep it going and get out of trouble. Get out of there.
Welcome to V8 Ute racing.
Yes. They've got elephant memory, some of them, they say. Some people never forget. Jake Stoneman, what's he doing lap-wise? 121 the last one. Paul Manuel, the points collector, he's thinking about the championship. Of course, this weekend it's the third round of the Ryco 24/7 V8 Utes. Big decider coming up next month. So he's doing a super job here, isn't he, Paul? Mr. Consistency.
He is, and as you said earlier, right, he's not going to push it that hard. He's just going to want to sit there. If he can't catch Jake, he's going to sit there and he's going to collect his points and keep that lead in the championship.
Well, he's in a Ford sandwich here. He's been squeezed, beaten up by the Fords in the previous race, so he doesn't mind that because he's got clear air here and he can control his own destiny. That's what Paul likes.
And you've got to remember that Jake's actually not in the championship. Although he's winning this race and might win the weekend, he's actually not a contender in the championship. So Paul's playing this very smart.
Yeah, taking a few points away from the other guys, so Paul just has to be exactly what he's doing. Happy with second. Let Jake have his moment of fun in the sun, but he'll be collecting those points and maintaining that lead going into the big final showdown at Hampton Downs. Collinson drifting back though in that other one, but look at the times, 120 for Manuel his last time, 120.7. Stoneman a 121.1 and Glenn Collinson a 121.7, so slightly quicker for Manuel. Stoneman's got it under control and just cruising at the moment. Coming off a win, talking about seat time, that's exactly what Andre Heimgartner did in the B&T V8s. He he's going to go out of this series and straight into supercars. Paul's come out of TA2, the Trans Am Series, winning that in Malaysia with Jalen Robotham, who's doing a great job in the 86s. And here they are, both really in top form in the same series. So nothing like being match fit.
Yeah, as they say, seat time. Seat time does it.
Glenn Collinson doing a good job in that linked up paints car from the team out of Hamilton. Good contender, good racer.
Yeah, he's very much a good racer, Glenn. He takes his racing very seriously. Certainly gets frustrated when somebody does something silly around him, but he's not afraid to give it back either. Don't you worry about that.
Around about 1800 is the weight for these cars. 400 horsepower, 6-speed gearbox, basically a road type sort of gearbox.
Yeah, it's an H box, and from time to time you do select the wrong gear. So you'll certainly see a Ute when it does that. It'll sort of lose its power very quickly.
So after 14 years of racing, it's good that Jake and Kirk can be racing together, father and son, as one of them goes really wide down the back straight. Wardy and Usher, Simon Usher, in the United Movers car. So this is that battle now for 4th and 5th. Wardy's had a good weekend doing double duty also in the Central Muscle cars as well. Going a bit back to his old style of wide and spectacular, sort of.
This is great to see actually, because Simon joined the V8 Utes having done no racing ever before in his life, whereas Wardy's done several years. So Simon's really lifted his game. Both these cars are engineered by Jake Stoneman. So it's good to see Simon pushing Wardy.
Wardy just getting a bit ragged coming out of the hairpin. That's been one of those areas to watch out for, especially for that Grand Prix coming up next, because that entry out of the hairpin onto the straight. Another one happening here. Coming charging down, Brent Lane in the 84. And Liam Porter. He's having a better day than his dad again.
A better weekend, I think, but to be fair.
How'd you go, Dad? I'm good, you suck.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be talking about that in the trailer tonight.
Yeah, Mooster said our weekend's been in the pits. It's been the pits, unfortunately. Brett Main doing a good job here in the Ryco 24/7 Ute. Young Liam around the outside. Can he live there? Can he stay there? Avoids the contact, keeps it on the track limits. Now he's got that chance to try and do a slingshot down the main straight into turn 1 at Toyota. Brent's going to hold that inside line and make him work really hard to try and make the pass. Problems in the first race, so Brent Rudd missing in the action. Oh, 23, bring it back under control, straight ahead of turn 1 again. Is it turn 1? Yes, it is.
Greg Cruyff.
Yeah, Greg Cruyff. He's one of the rookies in the series too, so he's learnt the hard way about where you can overcook the braking at turn 1.
It's the one thing I've been saying this weekend is turn 1. You know, it is a very difficult corner, and the braking points are absolutely crucial. And if you don't hit those braking points, you can see what happens.
Well, Greg Cruyff, he's stuck in the kitty litter there, but there you go, Main, Liam Porter. Looks like Greg Cruyff has got out, which is great, so he can keep rolling, keep racing. 2 laps to go. Brett Main, the bullet, as we take a look. Oh, one of them just getting a bit loose. That's him. Rear just stepped right out.
A little bit too much power through the apex of the corner, and the others let go.
Man out of Bombay, he's got a dredging company, so he managed to dredge himself out of that predicament. Here's Brett Main, holding off Liam. And once again, Liam.
Really under.
Yeah, you want to go dive under because she's a bit slippy out line.
Didn't quite come together as he was planning, but the thought was there.
Yeah, and he's searching away around between 2 and 3 and try and get right up behind. A little bit of dust blowing off as you whip through over those ripples. Dave Lowe right behind him trying to join up with his Ryco teammate. 82, he's doing a good job from Pukekohe. Got the franchise for the Ryco 24/7 around Auckland and Waikato. This is one of the guys. Does the job.
Here's a little bit of something for you. He bought my Ute.
That's why he's going fast. Jake Stoneman, last lap, crossed the starts finish line. So he's on the way to 2 wins and to win the weekend. The funny thing is, when we said that to Jake, you said when the Matt comes back and you say, well, there's nothing wrong with the car, mate. I've got it tweaked up working perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no excuse for Matt now.
Matt will turn around and say, oh, you've ruined it for me. You've tired it out.
Oh, look. Here we go.
So the leaders, there's a real battle for the lead here. Suddenly Jake Stoneman, he's out in front of number 1, and then Paul Manuel, the Super Freight Holden's right up behind them. So suddenly it's not all over. A couple of good battles further back down the field as well. So there's Manuel. Will he make a late lunge? Have the tyres gone off in the number 1 Tyre Works car? This is the lead. Stoneman coming out of Higgins. Jumping Jake Flash in the last race. Paul Manuel gets right behind. He's going to go round the outside at turn 7. A last minute lunge. Can he live there? Can he stay there? Will he get into the marbles? He drinks it right round. Holds it on.
Huge drift around the corner.
He does it, Perkins. And Jake Stoneman's going to go 2 from 2 to win the weekend. Entertaining stuff from Paul Manuel. Will maintain the series lead and extend that in the Ryco 24/7 V8 Utes over Collinson, who comes past to wrap up 3rd place. Good battle here, further back down the field. Main, Shaggy Lowe, Dave Lowe, and 11, Liam Porter. So Brett Main, number 84, trying to get a good win, good result for him in the top 6, 7 for Lowe. Really enjoying their racing. Coming across the start-finish line now. Liam Porter, a late lunge. He won't get it done. And so the rest of the cars, bit of damage, bit of DNF. Just Roger Nees coming across the line now, along with the recovery job for the rest of the field. So Jake Stoneman get a great result. He gets the win, wraps up the weekend as the winner. He'll have a smile on his dial, so well done to number 1 Jake Stoneman. Steps in for the defending champion and gets 2 wins in the weekend. Paul Manuel 2nd, extends his lead in the series. Glenn Collinson still up there in the hunt in 2nd in the series and 3rd in the race. Good results too for 94, Simon Usher, Peter Ward all over the place having a lot of fun. Brett Main, David Lowe, Liam Porter, Roger Nees and Paul Fagier.
The final round of the Australian Superbike Championship hits the Bend Motorsport Park on the 25th to 27th of November. See MotoGP superstar Jack Miller racing against Australia's best as we decide our champions for 2022. Tickets at asbk.com.au.